Okay, so today we are going to look at configuration of single sign-on process in GroupID 8 using SAML and with ping1 SSO identity provider. I will be configuring the single sign-on process against the enterprise portal in self-service. Now in GroupID, each module and the portal itself is treated as an application. There is a new feature in GroupID 8 where we have this Authenticate tab, and if I click on the admin panel, I will be prompted with a logon screen. Here in the administrative panel, I can only log on as a user who is already configured in ASMAN, in Authorization Manager, under role assignments. You can see I have a regular user, Ben Sims, configured, so I'm going to log on as Ben Sims. Currently, we don't have any SAML identity providers set. So there are different steps which we will be taking sure that we have the right configuration completed. And on another panel, I have ping1 identity dashboard open on. I'm just going to go to the applications tab here and add a new application, which is going to be a new SAML application. Just going to give it the application a friendly name, GroupID 1, and here I can define which application I'm going to target for this single sign-on process. So service portal and process. I can select any category from the list here, so I select information technology. Move on to the next step. Here these configurations will be provided using the GroupID administrative panel. I'm going to go back here, go to this generate URLs section, see the available list of URLs. As you can see, we have automate treated as an application, management shell is treated as an application, and the self-service portal is also treated as an application. So I'm going to select enterprise and I will get a unique identifier for this application. This unique identifier will define the link of our application within the provider itself, in this case ping1. During the upgrade process, we retain this unique identifier, so it will get upgraded so you don't lose your configuration. However, if you lose the SQL server and the GroupID server, in that case you will have to go through the same configuration again. Login URL is not applicable for ping1. This is only utilized for one login provider, which is not going to apply in our case. The metadata section is where we can generate our file against the application. I'm going to select enterprise, and once I've got the right application as well as selected the identity store, which is the configuration in GroupID 8, identity store will be covered in a different tutorial video altogether. I'm just going to download this metadata file. Once I've got this file, I can go to ping1 application and simply select the file, and it will be uploaded with the right URL. The assertion URL here will be the same URL for authorized application, and once applied, pasted, we don't need to set any additional options unless they are necessary. I can continue to the next step. Now, the signing algorithm is what you need to make sure. GroupID currently has these two options. We don't have these two options. So I've selected RSA SHA 256-bit encryption method. I'm going to proceed to the next step. Actually, I have to download the file, the configuration file here as well. I apologize for that. I'm just going to download the metadata file from ping1 identity provider. which will be used within GroupID's provider itself, admin panel. Just going to move to the second step here, and going back to the URL, going to SAML provider, add a new provider, and import from metadata. Here I'm going to select the file which I downloaded from the identity provider, which is Ping identity in this case, and click on this load file. As you can see, all of the sections are automatically selected. You can give a friendly name. Now this name will be displayed on the login screen, so the users can click on this link instead of going through the sign-in process. We also have advanced configurations. Within advanced configurations, you can see the type of signing method and the login page display, and either to display the group ID authentication logon or not. By default, it's selected as no. So when the users browse the portal, they will be prompted with our login and password option, and also they will be prompted with the ping1 identity providers button, which they can click to sign on. Now if you have more than one identity providers configured, in that case this setting will automatically go to true, and the group ID login screen will not become available. The second thing we need to modify here is the request binding, which is currently in redirect option. I'm going to change it to post, as this is what we configured in ping1 identity provider here as well. You can quickly look at that. Here is the post option that is selected, and here it's the same, and the encryption method is also the same. Now once you have configured the binding type, the signing method, imported the file in admin panel of GroupID, you can go ahead and click on this create button. And now we have a new identity provider configured within the admin panel of GroupID authorization tab. Now going back to the ping1 provider, we are going to complete the list here. Now we need to specify an attribute which will be used for authentication, and this is the friendly name of the attribute. Actually, we can go to the advanced settings and fill in the format here. First, here I'm going to, in the name format section, I will select the first option, leave it unspecified, and here I will be able to select or type in an attribute. So I'm just going to use the email attribute in Active Directory for authentication purpose. You can also select conversion methodologies. Now we are not going to use any conversion methodology, so the authentication becomes easy that way. But you can convert first name, last name to lowercase to uppercase, depending on requirements, or use regular expressions if needed. In this case, I'm not going to do any change. I'm just going to click on save. And here I'm going to call the application attribute as first attribute for authentication. And once you have added the AD attribute as well as the application attribute, we can click on the save option here. And we are just going to be shown some details about our configuration, and just press on this finish button. Now we have this GroupID app1 identity provider configured within ping1 identity provider. Next, we need to have the users who will be able to authenticate using our configuration. So I'm just going to go to the Users tab, and I'm just going to click the Add User option here and create a user which is available in Active Directory. It's going to specify a password. This password will be used across all of the authentication that is needed. The username, first name, last name, and the email address. All I have to do now is click on the save option, and this user is now saved. There is one change we have to do. The email the listing under Applications tab needs to be accurate, so email is going to be a unique identifier. I'm going to click on Advanced, click on Email here, and there is a drop down now. And if I select this first option, now I will be able to authenticate users with their email address. I'm just going to save and publish, so my changes is saved. Just going to press Finish here. Now we have the application configured, and we also have a user which should be able to sign on using ping identity. Let's try it out. So I'm just going to go back to GroupID here, click on self-service, expand portals, go to enterprise, click on the URL. Okay, so I don't see the button here, and let's quickly have a look at the configuration and see what is not configured properly. Single sign-on, if I look here, the client against which the configuration is made for the SAML identity provider is Automate. So we can simply click on the edit option and have to update this to the actual application against which we want to see this ping 1 button. So if I do this update, and now if I go back here and do a refresh, here we have the ping 1 identity provider. If I click here, I will you can see I've logged on as Ben Sims, and if I close this and just do this process again, you can see I don't have to enter any credential. It's now working. Now we could do an IIS reset and try this again. Just make sure that the username is already there, and they just have to log on only for the first time. After that, they don't have to worry about sessions. Going to try it again. So you can see the session is now always going to work. I hope this video is helpful to set up and configure a SAML provider against ping 1 identity for SSA.